Okay, before we go any further, I want to give a great big rest in peace shout out to one of my favorite actors of all time, Mr. Gene Hackman. Mr. Gene Hackman passed away. At least we found out that he passed away a couple of days ago. I think he was dead for a while, along with his wife and his dog, but listen, it's about a celebration at this point of this man's life. This was the most electrifying, charismatic, talented, intense actors I have ever seen. We're talking about Crimson Tide, The Unforgiven, The French Connection, The Quick and the Dead. He was live action Lex Luthor, Hoosiers, Mississippi Burning when he kicked that racist ass. I mean, listen, this dude, he was a force of nature. And as I said, if you ever get a chance to dive into his catalog, put it on your bucket list. All right, now we got that out of the way. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. I want to get into something else now. Now, I know that you guys are tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of talking about it. But out of respect for you, the viewer, when you come here, you're not going to be diving into delusion. We're going to get some things straight about Kathleen Kennedy and her leaving or staying or whatever. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Now, guys, we're going to dive into this article that I have here on Deadline.com. They're actually talking to Kathleen Kennedy. So you are actually getting this from the horse's mouth. Okay, so before we do that, let me just say this, guys. I've been doing these videos for quite some time now, probably longer than a lot of your larger, more well-known YouTubers that's out here. And I remember back in the day thinking to myself that the game was changing when people started talking about their sources and behind the scenes and, inside sources and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I thought we were just some viewers sitting in the movies talking about what we know or what we thought about what we see up on the screen, But no, everybody had sources. Everybody had behind the scenes views and all of that stuff. I did not. So I knew the game was changing, and of course, those channels began to blow up. Now, listen, guys, I don't sell t-shirts. I don't sell books. I don't sell hats. I damn sure don't sell coffee. All right. And I sure as hell don't sell my integrity and my credibility on this mic. I simply rock the shit out of this mic right here. That's what I do. That's why it takes my channel, I guess, longer to grow. It is what it is, guys. But that being said, I never dived into the rumor mill like that. I simply talk about how I feel about what's out there, right? I don't claim to know anything. I just give my opinion on what's being said. Okay. So, being that that's the case, I know that over the years, those of us who are Star Wars fans, we've been dogged by this question about whether Kathleen Kennedy is leaving or whether she's going to get fired or whatever. And every single time, she is proven to stay. So all of those inside views and voices and behind the scenes people, you picture Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, some guy sitting in the boardroom, he goes into the bathroom, takes off the mask, and it's our guy, it's our inside source. Do-do-do, 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 do-do, and he comes running. Guess what I heard? No, I don't think there's any such thing. But anyway, we're going to get into exactly what Kathleen Kennedy said, because once again, this week, we had this rumor going around that she was going to be stepping down, and now it turns out I was one of the only people to say from the very beginning, doesn't look like that's the case. A lot of people didn't want to run with that story that was on CNN, but it indeed looks like that was the case. So we have this article here on Deadline.com, and I want to read to you Kathleen Kennedy's own words about what she thinks about all of this to do, about whether she's leaving or staying, keeping in mind the damage has already been done. So like I said, I don't even understand the fascination with all of this, but for the sake of integrity and getting a handle on this, here we go. Deadline.com. Now the headline goes, Kathleen Kennedy speaks on her Lucasfilm plans. She is not soon retiring, and the films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come. She said, I ain't going nowhere, bitches. All right, so let's scroll down here. Deadline says, we've read all these speculative reports that you are out, that there's a frenzy for the next person who's going to take over Lucasfilm. What is the truth? Kathleen Kennedy says, quite clearly, the truth is, and I just want to say loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. Oh man. Well, no misunderstanding that. She says, I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. Hell no, I won't go. Hell no, I won't go. That is the first thing that's important to say. I am not retiring. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with both Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like, because after all, she can't live forever, right? So sooner or later, she'll be out. And I'm sure 80 years from now, they'll be like, I told you she was leaving. Motherfucker, she's like 100 years old. They're wheeling her out. Okay, you foresaw this. Good on you. We have an amazing bench of people here, and we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the road. We are in lockstep as to what's going to be, and I am continuing. I'm producing the Mandalorian movie right now, and I'm also producing Sean Levy's movie, which is after that, and that's supposed to be starring, what's his name, Ryan Gosling. So I'm continuing to stay at Lucasfilm, and I'm looking very thoughtfully with Bob and Alan as to who's stepping in. So that is all underway, and we have every right to make that announcement when we good and damn well please, she says. No, she says when we want to make it. So they'll make the announcement when she's ready, when she's good and ready, okay? Deadline says that your looking within seems to give credence to what we've heard. That an exec like Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni is in a good position as he works on a Star Wars to write and direct. Kennedy says, I can't say who it is because there's just an internal process that goes on inside a large corporation and a publicly held company as to how we go about making deals, finalizing decisions, and making announcements. There's nothing unusual about that. And we're in that process. Deadline says, now, this flurry of press coverage, it sounds like chaos. What's the reality? Kathleen Kennedy says, chaos? There's never been any chaos. I don't know what they're talking about. There damn sure hasn't been any civil war. Because we know exactly what the plan is. And we've been talking about it. As I said, nonstop for the last couple of years. Because for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be here forever. George asked me 13 years ago to step in. And now I'm looking at who's going to replace me. And as I said, we have a bench of people internally to handle the business, the creative side. The job has grown since I stepped in. I grew the job. I'm a success. Who put this thing together, huh? Me. Who do I trust? Me. That's who. Say hello to my little friend. No, she didn't say that. There was no streaming. There weren't a lot of things that we're involved in right now going on. So it has grown. What are you saying? Deadline. How far down the road do you expect before a change gets made? And then you go off and produce these two big Star Wars things. Kennedy says, we'll probably make an announcement months or a year out. I think I said that before. Pay attention, jerky. And I have every intention of sticking around to help that person be successful. I'm going nowhere. I'm already producing the Mandalorian movie, and Sean Levy's after that. Deadline says, I recall these same retirement predictions were rendered a while ago, and you re-upped, and here you are. What do you make of this fixation on your job status? Looking at us, the YouTubers, the influencers, everybody who talks about this at least once or twice a year. What do you make about this fixation on you? Truly, I don't know why they're on my nuts. She doesn't say that. I don't know. In any discussion previously about me retiring or quitting or any of those things, that's complete rumor mill. Because through all these reports, I have just continued doing my job and continuing my contract. Nothing unusual. It has all just been manufactured. Deadline says, this connotation is you're being pushed aside, in need of being replaced. Though that's not what I've heard. Kathleen Kennedy says, it's absolutely not the case. It could not be further from the truth. They couldn't do this shit without me. And everything we do inside of Lucasfilm is in lockstep and in communication with Disney. We all know what's going on. The communication has been completely collaborative, as you would expect. This is a big piece of business for them, and they want to empower me to help them to make that decision and that choice. And I'm doing that. Okay, now there's much more to this article, which will be left in the pinned comment below, so you can check it out for yourselves. But there you have it from from the horse's mouth herself, that she is going nowhere. She plans on going nowhere, at least in the foreseeable future, until she can make sure that her demented dreams and visions for Lucasfilm are fully protected with whoever she handpicks by the balls to carry on after she's gone. So there it is, guys. For everybody who is so fixated and so invested in the idea of Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm, keep in mind, guys, the damage has in fact been done. It won't make a difference. You cannot unsee what has been seen, and all you have to do is look around at Marvel and DC and Star Trek and understand that this problem that we have is much bigger than Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, this has to do with the industry. After she leaves, another person will step up and do the same bullshit that she's doing. There has to be a complete revolution in the industry before we see any real meaningful change. At least that's my opinion. But there you have it, guys. Once again, this article will be in the pinned comment below, so you can check it out. But guys, I love you. I'm not trying to sell anything to you. In fact, when I say that you can like, share, subscribe, and of course contribute to the channel, it's just because, listen, man, my channel's got to grow somehow, and I like to think that I am somewhat entertaining. I don't know, guys. Get in the comment section. Tell me, Mark, you're not really that entertaining. And of course, I won't believe you because, shit, I'm on my own shit. I know what I got and what I bring to the table. But anyway, no grifting going on here is my point. The only thing that I care about is the truth as it's revealed to me. I could be wrong. She could be bullshitting. We've heard this kind of thing before. I am not stepping down. We heard it with Joe Biden. That man is sharp as a tack. Get on the debate stage. I fucked your wife. So from 1 minute to the next, who knows what's true. But anyway, guys, you can tell me how you feel about this in the comment section. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And of course, as I mentioned before, if you feel like it, if I entertained you, if I mean anything to you at all, Chad, get into the Super Thanks feature and drop me a donation. All right, guys, it's time to walk the dog. I need to go to work. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.